Welcome everyone to Ninja Monkey. It's that time of the week once again. It's Sunday, maybe Monday, depending where you're watching from. Once again, thank you so much for joining me and then being here and supporting me. And not only that, but it's fun to end the week or start the week, depending on how you sort of want to see things. So, just a few reminders for those of you who are new. Um, Firstly, I'm going to try to answer your questions. Please, at Ninja Monkey, or write question clearly so I can see it's a question. If you have any conversations amongst yourselves, feel free to do so. If you want to also help members or help people out, you can also do that in the chat. And finally, if you're watching on the replay, you can also leave some comments down below when this stream has ended, and we can try to answer your questions. I'm Ninja Monkey, and the last thing I want to say is I'm not Google Maps. I wish I was. So if you're gonna ask me how to get to some obscure or random station somewhere in Japan, the most likely thing is that I'm gonna tell you to check on Google Maps. I'm gonna be totally transparent. I think that a lot of questions that come my way can be answered by a simple search on Google Maps. If you do need any help navigating Google Maps or have a very specific questions about navigating Japan, like how to do this, how to book tickets, I'm happy to answer. And maybe somebody in the comment in the chat will be able to help. Anyway, welcome everyone. Hey, and we start with a super chat for the banana fans. You know what? Thank you so much, Frog Lady. I've got my little thing here. Don't forget to like, by the way, everyone. And I want to say thank you, arigato gozaimasu. I actually have my banana defrosting. Hopefully in about 20 minutes I'll be able to eat it. Much appreciated. I don't know where's my where has the list gone? The alert lists, as in, I don't think it's working, guys. I'm so sorry if the list of people isn't working right now. Why isn't it working now? I don't want to play around with it, but I appreciate it. Jesse, how are you doing? Armadanian, how are you doing? Hello, Jesse. Pet Pertza, good evening. Good evening. Japan, how you doing, mate? Thank you for being here. Oh, it is coming up. There, gifted times 5. So why didn't Frog Lady's one appear? That's kind of odd. Awesome, thank you so much for becoming a member. Those of you who are new members, you have access to the emojis, and not only that, but I'm trying my best to sort of update with little sneak peeks on Patreon and on members page. So check out. I've actually posted a little sneak peek of a video that I'm working on. It's sort of like a rough idea for an introduction. Whether it stays like that or not, I don't know. But Will, glad to be here. Hold on, it's on top chat. I want to put it on live chat. Why did it change itself? Bloody hell. We have the first question. Samurai Indy says, "What's the best month to buy a ticket if I'm going on August 2026?" You know what? I'm gonna be totally transparent. I don't think there's such a thing as like a the perfect time to buy a ticket. If I were you, I think 12 months before you can actually start tracking. And one of the things that I suggest that you do is that you track on websites like even Expedia has a tracking option where you can actually set your flights, set it to track, and it will give you alerts if the flight goes up or the flight goes down. I always say the same thing. Set yourself a budget in mind, do a little bit of research, see what the average price sort of costs for your route. Don't expect, magical deals. They do sometimes appear, but I think that if you do a little bit of research and see what more or less what the high point of the flights are, what the low points of the flights are, and set yourself a target, you'll be golden, you'll be fine. And basically start tracking your flights. I personally start tracking, I would say, about maybe between 7 and 6 months before my flight. That's when I start tracking, and I probably commit to a flight about 5 months before. I would say is a good time for me to sort of commit to a flight. That's me personally. Hey, thank you so much, Laura McGray, gifting also, and Jim Ross also. Hey, let's just do like. Thank you so much, Jim Ross. Thank you so much, Frog Lady, for earlier, and thank you so much, Lord McGray, for the gifted memberships. Show off your emojis. Let's continue with data saving seems annoying. Tried to log on an hour ago. I'm so sorry. Oh boy. Yeah, there you go. We have the same answer here. Start watching prices of flights that interest you and get a feel for the ups and downs. You've literally said what I said. But yeah, good, good, good. Hey, yo, Gazumi, how you doing? Frog Lady, how's everything? Have you been affected by the storms? I'm not very sure if you were going to be affected. Gerald, how you doing? Dying Gull, how are your legs feeling? Have you been stretching them? Stretching them, stretching them? Let's see. Jet lagged and full of Zywake. Boy, boy, oh boy. Hi Nathan, hi Alan, hi Frog Lady Hand, and hello chat. Obviously, hello everyone. When are we getting you blind date series? It needs to be organized, I guess. Blind date series. I don't know if people will watch that. That's a thing. I hope we're live because I'm answering questions. Frog Lady received the postcard. Yay! Patreon members have received postcards. If you're a new Patreon member, I always like to send a postcard as a thank you, sort of like automatic. Doesn't matter what tier you become a member on Patreon. If you become a top tier patron, then I will commit to trying my best to send a postcard from Japan on most of my trips, which is a lot of postcards if you think about it, because I travel so much to Japan. Especially my bigger trips, or I try to choose the better trips to send them. Those postcards were so beautiful, and you know what? I kept one for myself, and then somebody became a patron, so I had to send it, and I ended up with a postcard for myself. Try to donate, but can't in zloty today. Don't worry, dude. Don't worry. You can, just a reminder for those of you who do want to donate, it does help the channel a lot. It helps me do what I'm doing. And best ways to donate are obviously super chats, because they're just super easy to do. Don't forget that you can also donate after the stream by using a super thanks if you're watching this in the future. And there's also the PayPal and Patreon, so lots of options there. Are you going to be in Tokyo again this month? I'm going to be back in Tokyo in April, Chuck. Not quite, not quite this month. Soon. I have girls that want to date you. What? You've got girls that want to date me? Then yes, let's do it, man. We need to organize it. Dying Ghoul is like the jack of all trades. I've noticed he's like he gets things done. He's a businessman. He like gets things done. Hello, is it about 2 weeks before you arrive in Japan? Not quite, Jim Ross. Oh, Frog Lady, not me. Sorry, I thought you were talking to me. Jennifer! I am Genki, and one of the reasons I'm really Genki, and maybe I'll talk about it in the next 20 minutes or so, is I've actually got myself an itinerary for my summer trip, at least for the first 3.5 weeks. And I am super excited about this itinerary because it hits on places I haven't been to in 9 or 10 years, places that I've loved traveling to, places where I have in the past regretted not staying the night, and places that I wanted to go to but never went to because I was too busy. So I am super excited, especially for the first 3.5 weeks. I'll go over that if you're interested, what I'm sort of doing, how I'm planning it, and how I think I'm going to end up doing my Japan Rail Pass, because I think that I won't. It's not even worth doing a Japan Rail Pass. And I'm traveling a hell of a lot, like a hell of a lot, and yet the Japan Rail Pass doesn't do it for me. But one regional pass will save me a lot of money. I'll talk about that in a bit. Blue Sky Cliff Dog, how are you doing, man? How long until you're back in Japan? I'll be back in Japan. I'll be back in Japan Japan, Ichiban. That was a little bit of a tongue twister. I was trying to say I was back. I'll be back in Japan, Ichiban, in the middle of April. So a week after you. Whenever you're going, 1 week after. Um, you weren't here yet, so I channeled my inner monkey to try to help. Good. That's the way I like it, man. Oh, the samurai guy left. Well, hey, sorry, samurai guy. I hope that you do come back and watch this later. Sexy legs. Cyclone missed you. Okay, okay. I'm glad. I was thinking about you. The news has a way of spinning things and making things like whoa. Question: how do you deal with large pieces of luggage on trains? Thanks, Pete. I think that's an excellent question, and I think I have a great solution for you, and that is a combination of luggage forwarding, stuff, and strategically planning when you're going to luggage forward. That's what I do. I travel in the summer for 6 weeks plus, and that means, and I travel extensively, which means that I do travel with big luggage. I do not travel with a backpack, with a big backpack. I have video gear, camera gear, and all sorts of things, so I can't really do that. So what I do is I strategize how I'm going to luggage forward. I don't luggage forward to every single hotel because that will be a nightmare. But what I do is I sort of figure out how many days I can live off a smaller backpack or a smaller like night bag. Luggage my stuff into the future. So for example, if I'm going from here to Kyoto, but I'm gonna do 2 nights in Nikko and or whatever, 2 nights in Hakone and Takayama or whatever. So that I would probably luggage forward my stuff 5 days into the future to Kyoto, to the Kyoto accommodation, and then I would travel Takayama and Hakone with a smaller bag just for those days specifically. Then when I get to Kyoto, I would then sort of like rearrange my luggage and repeat. Look at my itinerary, see where I can send my luggage, 4 or 5 days into the future, into the next hotel, maybe 2 or 3 hotels away, and live off a smaller backpack. So my big suitcase sort of like travels with me, but ahead of me. Feel a little bit like a rock star. But if you're worried about trains, then obviously Shinkansen is basically getting a reserved seat with the reserved seat, luggage seat. If it's a local, then definitely I would say luggage forwarding is the best way to do it. Also getting a reserve seat at the back. And if it's a local train, sometimes there's no reserve seat, which means that you just need to like wing it. April Japan gang. Yeah. If you book Shinkansen, ask for bulkhead, front or back dedicated luggage space. Indeed, indeed, indeed. I'm going to Japan for the second time for 3 weeks in November. Excited. Greeting from Portugal. Very near me. Yes. Obrigado. Obrigado. Hey, TM. Did you watch my Oizumi video that I put out? That video has done terribly, as in horrendously. It's got something like 20% or 15% of what my normal views are. It's like terribly, terribly bad. People are not clicking on it. But hey, has anyone stayed at the hotel Route in Grand Tokyo, Asakusabashi? I have not, but I've stayed in Route Inn hotels before. They're just normal business style hotels. They're small, they're quite small, but they're okay, they're clean, they're typical. Local trains with luggage are a pain. Just make sure not to rush, not that it's not rush hour. That's also good. Jesse has good advice there. Japan Rail Pass is definitely worth it for you. Wow. I mean, seriously, like I can't make it work at all. Like literally impossible. And I'm doing ridiculous distances. Like I'll go over the things that I'm doing. But I can't get the National Rail Pass to work for me because I am traveling. I'm not traveling every single day. Am I going to Japan in spring for Hanami? Unfortunately, I will miss the Hanami in Tokyo. I am considering, depending on how I am doing financially, because I've been doing my finances for the summer trip. And you know what? Hotels are, I would say hotels are maybe 20% more expensive than last year already. So I can already see that even though the yen is weak, and even though the, even though the yen is weak, I can see this trip potentially being 15 to 20% more expensive than last year. So that's quite a bit of money. So I'm not very sure if I'm gonna get a be able to travel north to the Tohoku region as I wanted to for Hanami. Buses, Pete has a good point here. Buses are usually are sometimes overlooked, but it depends on how far the distance is. So will be there for the last 3 weeks. Nice, nice, nice. Who wants the series this summer, which features Nathan and blind dates? I can do it in the summer probably. I just need to let you know the dates when I'm in Tokyo and stuff. I like the idea of second chance visits, going back to the places you wanted a second chance to see. A lot of these places are just super like long, like ages ago. Like I haven't been there for a long time. Everyone wants a blind date, including me. Be very awkward video. Monkey love. We can and we will. It's just I think it might be difficult to film. It's the kind of thing that you need a third person there to film. Already have 5 dates. Seriously, you've not told me anything about this. This is really exciting. Um, if you're out at Ryokan in the middle of nowhere, does it take significantly longer to get your bags? Yes. You need to you need to organize with your hotel and actually ask them when your bags will arrive. Or if you have a specific date that you want your bags to arrive, then the ryokan will do it the other way around. They will tell you when you need to leave your bags for it to arrive at a certain time or a day. Rule of thumb, usually leave it in the morning for it to arrive the following morning, the following day, or the following afternoon. If it's sort of in the same region, if it's quite far away, it might actually take like a day and a half. So let's see. Takeshi's cousin is Miss Kyushu. She's been in LA working on acting gigs. She's game? Seriously? Yes. Miss Kyushu. Here we go. She's going to be very disappointed. Hey, Daniel and Yuka. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. By the way, we have 17 likes, I think. 46 people watching. Show a little bit of love. Show a little bit of support. Liking is free. And subscribing is also free. Just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there. Ooh, Gerald, 24 days left. Nice fourth trip. Awesome. I've lost count on my trips now. I was counting and I really don't know. It's around the 30 mark, I think, now. 2021 Miss Kyushu. I won't look it up right now, but I will look it up for sure. Yeah, Japan Ichiban. I was thinking of that. I was thinking of that. At the moment, like I said, I'm being honest. Financially, I'm okay. I'm not gonna like sit here and pretend, but the summer trip is looking to be quite an expensive trip, much more expensive than I expected it to be. So this is the problem. What's going on here? Oop. Has sorry, the chat sort of died for a second, and I'm gonna pop it back up so that I can see what's going on. and it defaults to top chat, which I don't want it to. All right. Let's see. I think I missed it. If I miss any of your questions, please let me know. But if you mean the video about Latin American, indeed I saw it. For me, as a Portuguese, it was very interesting. I speak both Portuguese and Spanish, so I think I would be rather at home. Yeah, it was a fun place, a fun video to put together. I was hoping that it would gain a little bit more attention. But you know what it is with YouTube. You know, your audience, you guys, you're used to a certain type of video from me. So the moment that I put something that's a little bit different, people sort of like go, "Oh, what's this? This isn't the normal Ninja Monkey," and they don't watch for as long, and that sends a message to YouTube basically saying, you know, Nathan's normal audience doesn't really like this, so why should we share it with anybody else? The same with the Q&A. If you watch the video where I question myself from the past, Nathan from the future having a conversation, I really loved. It was fun putting that together. I thought it was quite informative and tried to give it a little bit of a different spin. But again, you know, people didn't seem to relate to it. Maybe I have to try it a little bit more with that format, get people used to it. Love Hotel. Whew. Yeah, hotels are much more. I'm really shocked actually. I've looked at it's already like 3.5 weeks that I've booked of hotels, and I haven't booked anything super fancy. Yeah, everything is like upper hotels and cheap stuff like that. There's only two locations where the hotel's a little bit more expensive. And one of them being because it's going to be my birthday, and I always like to treat myself and stay in nice accommodation on my birthday. And it's nothing wow either. I'm not spending loads. And one other ryokan location. Yeah, like I will go through it. Okay, I will go through my itinerary and then explain everything once I get through all the questions. Okay. Right, I'm a little bit thirsty, guys. Kanpai. Wow, the apartment you rented in January is 3 to 4 times. What? Okay, as long as I have somebody to film me. Less than 2 weeks before you go to Japan. What? Awesome. Well, Narita's fine. You know, seriously, guys. I mean, I know there's a whole debate about Narita, Haneda. I don't really care where I land. Once I get to Haneda, or once I get to Narita, I'm not gonna lie, I prefer Haneda. If I can go to Haneda, I do prefer Haneda generally. But for example, this time round, I'm actually landing at Narita, and it's gonna be better for me because I'm staying in Ueno, which means that I could just get the train easily to Ueno from Narita, so it's perfect. Um, I still need to get downtown for a night before connecting onwards, but can't figure out KSA website for Narita Sky Access. Is it best to buy it at the airport or somewhere else? You could buy it at the airport. Usually no problem. I usually, whenever I need to get a train from Narita, I just buy it at the airport. Hotels put the prices up around Sakura season. Yeah, but it's not that. I'm talking about summer. Daniel, summer. My summer trip at the moment, the hotels are about 20% more expensive than my budget last year, and I sort of budgeted for the same amount this year, but it's gonna end up being 20 to 30% more expensive at this rate. They'll be monkeying around. After doing Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, Sapporo route, what's the next best to visit? Um, I think that if you've done sort of like the main locations, I would choose specific regions, and there's loads of specific regions that you can focus on rather than locations. Instead of going locations, regions. For example, choosing Kyushu as a region and visiting places like Nagasaki, Fukuoka, Miyazaki, and all sorts going down across to, for example, some of the islands of Kagoshima. There's lots to do. Shikoku the same, more local. No real Shinkansen in Shikoku. It's all local train, ferries, etc. And then within Japan itself, there are within the main islands of Japan, there are some regions like the Chugoku region, which I did a few years ago. Highly recommend. Matsue and Tottori and that kind of place, those sort of areas. Um, Loads. That's what I would do. I would focus on areas rather than destinations. I don't know if that makes any sense at all. Maybe it doesn't make sense. Prices are high due to the expo. Maybe that's why. Maybe. Dying goal. I'm not even going to put that on the screen. Hey, happy Ramadan, by the way. Those of you who are doing Ramadan. Laptop is dying in Poland. Later, no problem, man. No problem. Summer prices are jacked up, especially in Kansai, as Gerald says, because of Osaka Expo. I love the Q&A video. I sent the link to several friends. Awesome. I thought it was fun, and I think I'd like to continue doing a series, like where I just question and like continue talk about the JR Pass, talk about itineraries. Hey Nathan, so where do you think I should be going? Somebody told me I should go to Kyoto, but isn't Kyoto super crowded? And then I can answer. I like the Q&A video, something different, easy to watch. That's the whole idea, easy to watch. I'm glad that you guys like it. You guys get it. It's the other people that don't get it. That's sad because the Portuguese Japan video was one of my favorites you've done. I'd like to do more videos like that, but this is the problem with YouTube. If you put a video out like that and it literally gets 15% of the views, that means that I'm getting 15% of growth on my channel from that video. I'm getting 15% of the finances for the effort of putting the video together. And it makes you think, really? I'm not gonna make another video like that, right? You know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see. The smoking one started off pretty badly. And now it started to gain momentum. So maybe it's one of those things where I just need to be patient. And in 2 weeks' time or something, it will get somewhere. Next J-Cast episode will drop probably towards the end of the month. At the moment, we are scheduled to do a J-Cast episode once a month. I'm glad that you're enjoying that. I'm enjoying putting that together also. See, Ruse, how you doing? Ooh, let's see. I hope it's one of those second win videos. I agree. What's the best way to book Shinkansen tickets? I heard of Smart EX, but there are also regions like JR West. I'm on Android, if that makes a difference. Thanks and love all your content. No problem, Hazza. If you want to use Smart EX and you have a physical Suica card or a physical IC card, it doesn't have to be Suica. I have one somewhere around here. I think I left it in the other room when I filmed the other video. But if you use the IC card with the Smart EX, you can link your IC card number to your Smart EX. And Smart EX doesn't work on all lines. It only works on some lines, and you can book through there. Most of the time, I'm going to be honest, I hardly ever book stuff online. I usually do all my bookings when I'm in Japan, at the train station. Usually, I have my itinerary. I know when I'm going to go. I go to the train station and I book my key my key train tickets all in one go or in batches. I've used Klook also, which I do actually have an affiliate link for Klook, I think, but I don't know how to put it on right now. Ooh, Jcast is in the house. I am going to be in Japan again in middle of April. I would prefer Haneda, but after a 14-hour flight, a 45-minute train ride versus a 30-minute train ride doesn't make a big difference. So I pick whichever has the best available flights. Exactly, that's exactly what I do at this point. I just go for the cheapest option with the best timings for me. You know, half an hour more, half an hour less. You know. Stephen, how you doing? Good morning. Ohayo gozaimasu. It's good night, good evening here for me. You can do Ekinet. There's lots of different sites. Yeah. Yeah, the other guy has some nice stuff on Facebook. The other guy has a name. His name is Alan. Yeah, you can reserve, you can cancel, you can modify. That is very true. That is very true. So I've sort of reached the end of the chat. If you have any questions, please keep them coming. And don't forget to hit the like button because we have 28 likes, but around 50 people watching, which means that we have around only half the people liking, which means that perhaps actually, you know what I'm gonna do? See if I can get the chats up a little bit because for the moment the chat is currently set to, how do I do this? Subscribers only. I'm gonna change it to anyone because I know that I have the my awesome mods here. So as long as I have a mod here, then it's all good. I can set it to anybody can be in the chat. When I have it as subscriber only mode, I usually get a little bit less. But yeah, so let me talk to you guys. Whilst we collect some more questions, I'm going to talk to you about my itinerary. And maybe you guys can get a pen and a paper, write down my itinerary, and figure out how the hell I can make a JR pass work. Because I don't think I can make a JR pass work at the moment. So my itinerary at the moment, I'm not going to give specific dates, but my first 3.5 weeks are pretty much locked in at the moment. I think they are locked in, especially because there's two key locations that were quite difficult to get accommodation that I've booked. So yeah. Let me just get my itinerary up. Where is my itinerary? So my itinerary looks a little bit like this. I will arrive in Tokyo, obviously, guys, and I will spend the first 4 days in Tokyo, not needing a Japan Rail Pass, obviously. I will then travel to Takayama. I was last in Takayama in 2015, so 10 years ago. So I haven't been to Takayama in 10 years, but maybe 2016, so maybe 9 years ago. So it's been a very long time. And I've been to Takayama twice before. This will be my third trip to Takayama, and I'm very much looking forward to it because I really enjoyed Takayama. I remember really liking it, and I'm going to be staying 3 nights in Takayama. Reason being that I've not filmed anything there. I want to get some B-roll, and I want to visit Shirakawa-go from Takayama on one of my days. So that's Takayama. Takayama, I changed my plan slightly, and I will be heading to Okayama. Takayama to Okayama is about 4 hours and 20 minutes total travel time, but taking into account that you have to do a change in train and there might be a good 15 or 20-minute break in between, it isn't, that bad. It's the best thing that I could do to be as efficient as I could. And so I'll be staying in Okayama, and the idea is that I will use Okayama as a base, spending 3 nights in Okayama. The first night when I arrive will be nothing. I will then do a day trip to Kurashiki, and then potentially a day trip to Onomichi, or an alternative. Onomichi is one of my favorite places in Japan. From Okayama, I will visit Miyajima directly from Okayama, getting the Shinkansen to Hiroshima, and I'm going to be spending the night in Miyajima. It's one of my things that I've regretted not done before. I've been to Miyajima twice before, maybe even three times before. Every single time I've been to Miyajima, I've absolutely adored and loved the place. And every single time that I've been to Miyajima, I've always thought, I should stay the night here. Well, this time I am spending one night in Miyajima, which basically means that if I arrive in Miyajima nice and early in the morning, I'll have the day, I'll have the evening, I'll have the night, I'll have the morning, and then I can return to Hiroshima, where I spent 2 nights. From Hiroshima, I will go to Kyoto for my birthday week, and I will be spending 1, 2, 3 nights in Kyoto. And those days in Kyoto, I plan to just chill and hang out, have fun, not have anything too serious. Maybe try to do less visited Kyoto video, something like that. But now, this is where things get a little bit interesting for those of you who are still watching. From Kyoto, I'll start a new area that that I have been to all the prefectures, but this is the sort of an area that I've wanted to for a while. From Kyoto, I'm gonna go to Ise, to specifically to a very very famous Okage Yokocho, I think it's called. And in all my travels across Japan, potentially it could have been one of the most beautiful Yokochos shopping streets I've ever been to. But unfortunately, when I went last year or the year before, when I did go, I ended up spending part of the time doing a live stream, great live stream, but that meant that I didn't film anything, and it also meant that when I ended the live stream, it was too late. Everything was shutting down, and I ended up not being able to actually experience. So I'm gonna go there just for that. From Ise, I will travel to Nashi Falls for a night. From Nashi Falls, I will travel to Wakayama, spend 2 nights in Wakayama, and hopefully meet up with Cheney Japan. If anybody watches her, I've been in contact with her. Looking forward to hanging out with her. And then from Wakayama, I will be traveling to Koyasan. Again, I've been to Koyasan once before. This will be my second trip to Koyasan. I'll be spending the night in Koyasan, and yeah, I'm looking forward to that. One of my most treasured experiences was in Koyasan. Now, to put things into perspective, when I stayed in Koyasan in 2015, I think it was 2015, I stayed in Koyasan, maybe 2016. I was with a friend, and we shared a tatami room in a Buddhist accommodation, like temple lodging, and it cost us about £300 for the night for both of us, which at the time was expensive, you know, £300. This time round, the same accommodation. I'm not staying there, by the way, just making it clear. Same room, same accommodation. 10 years later, guess how much it costs? I want to know. Write down your guesses, guys. So think of it. 10 years ago, more or less, I paid £350. So about $400 for a room in a temple lodging in Koyasan, shared with a friend. Obviously, we shared the price. Guess how much it costs now? From £350, it's gone up to £1,080, guys. £1,080. That's right. £1,080. Obviously, I'm not staying there for the night. Oh, and then from Koyasan, I'll go to I will head to Osaka for 2 or 3 nights, and that's all I've booked so far. You need to be on a long Shinkansen journey every other day to make it work. Yeah, I know. The only thing that I'm going to do for this trip, because I can do a Hiroshima whatever it's called, something pass. What is it called? I wrote it down. Hiroshima Kansai Hiroshima area pass, which is a 5 day pass. So Kansai Hiroshima area pass, 5 day pass, and I can use that pass to get from Okayama when I leave Okayama to Miyajima, Hiroshima, and back to Kyoto. So that will be like my saving, my saving money. My wife and I only bring almost empty foldable carry-on base camp North Face duffel bags. You're lucky, guys. I carry too much stuff, too much equipment, tripods, and all sorts of things like that. And don't forget that now, if you do get the if you are on iPhone with a new Welcome Mobile Suica, you can actually book tickets for the Shinkansen directly on the app on iOS, and you'll be able to tap as if it was on many ticket gates. Ooh, nice. Kawaguchiko in May. How much should I save for a 4 week trip traveling through Japan? Um, Depends. Does it mean including hotels, not including hotels? What kind of accommodation? In terms of budget for food, I can tell you that you can eat very cheaply in lunchtime. You can eat for under 1,500 yen with many set menus at lunchtime. And in the evening, obviously things become a little bit more expensive unless you decide to eat from konbini or ramen or something a little bit cheaper. So you could probably eat for about 4,000 yen on the cheap side if you really wanted to. That gives you an idea. Then obviously you need to factor in things like train rides, JR Pass. I will create a spreadsheet if I were you. I would do my research, figure out where I'm going to go, see how much everything is going to cost so that you can save. It's the best way to do it. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Hida Wagyu is the best. Part of the reason why I'm going back. Yay, Japan, Japan, Japan. You're staying in Miyajima when? But not in summer, right? Because that would be too awesome if we were both staying in Miyajima at the same time. That one time in Takayama, we were there at 2019. It rained so much we couldn't leave the car. Just getting the luggage in without being soaked was hard. What? Yeah, those things happen. Yeah, Bojo Pigeon. That's why I want to go. I mean, I've done Kyoto. I want to say probably 20 times at this point. And I've done all the tourist sites in Kyoto pretty much. But I think that now I'd like to have a look at what the crowd situation is like. That's an interesting topic. And also, I'd like to explore some of the lesser places. There's so many temples and shrines there. I'm going for just over 3 weeks in late November to mid-December. Have no plans yet. I have got time to figure it out. We're here to help you, Jim. We're here to help you. I'm not very sure about November, October yet. Like I said, at the moment, this summer trip is is turning out to be a little bit of a challenge financially. I mean, I think I'm okay. I think I'm planning it okay, but it's sort of like shocked me a little bit, the price of the hotels. I was playing Wakayama just last night. Have 10 hotels, different cities on my next trip. I'm going to day trip to Wakayama from Osaka. I'm doing Wakayama because it's sort of like a loop, starting in from Kyoto to Ise. I'm following the coast around to Wakayama and then ending in Koyasan and then Osaka. 1,080 wowzers, yowzers, thousands. Everything, oof, indeed. Logan's Run, how you doing, my man? I have also been to Koyasan, a day trip only. Yes, Japan can be expensive. it's I mean, it's not really. It can be, but the only reason it's gonna be expensive potentially for me is because I'm going for over 6 weeks. This trip, I think it's 44 days in total that I'm gonna be in Japan over the summer. So it all adds up, you know. For somebody who's going for 20 for like 2 weeks, it can be quite cheap. I mean, when I go for my 1 week trips, it's cheap. It's not super expensive. I mean, the plane tickets are expensive, but once I'm there, it's kind of affordable, you know? Speaking of Takayama, Shirakawa-go is unrecognizable, and still so many people go there. Really? Oh, that's so sad. The Kansai Hiroshima area pass from Kyoto to Himeji, the best option is a Sanyo Shinkansen, isn't it? Yes, I think so. But yeah, I can use that pass very successfully. That's what I'm planning to do. Yeah, it depends. I mean, from all the hotels that I'm staying at, I can tell you, like, I've got hotels that are costing like nothing, like $35. Some of my hotels for the night, which is crazy cheap, you know. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mark. Good early morning. I think we're gonna try and squeeze Oichijuku in the planet of Tohoku, like a secret Shirakawa go. Ooh. I've been there. Japan Ichiban. If you watch my Aizu Wakamatsu video, that's where I went, I believe. Yeah, that's exactly where I went. So if you go to my Wakamatsu video, which I recommend that you check out if you're going to be in that area, because Aizu Wakamatsu, I think that Oichi Juku, I can't even say it, place is accessible from Aizu Wakamatsu. You could do like a half sort of thing. Maybe you could choose some of the locations that I show in the Aizu Wakamatsu video and combine it. That will make for a really good trip, I think. Hey Nathan, when in Okayama, I suggest you spend a few hours in Inbe. Ooh, nice. Where you can buy some of the best ceramics in Japan. Nice. Thanks for the recommendation. I really appreciate them. Yeah, hello, Gray. That's basically what I do. I sort of like I try to set myself a daily or nightly like accommodation price, roughly, and I try to keep to it. And then when I stop like booking my hotels or I book everything with free cancellation, I'll divide it by the amount of days and I'll realize what the average nightly cost is. And sometimes I'm under. And if I'm under, then that means that I can sort of like splash out and change some of my accommodations to ryokans or upgrade or whatever. And if I'm over, unfortunately, it means that I need to downgrade some of my accommodations and find cheaper ones. I'm very good at trying to keep things affordable as much as I can. Cyril will go soon. Woo. I've only done one trip with carry-on luggage. It was absolutely a dream. E-bike and fly fishing gear most trips. Nice. Yeah, I want to do that, but I just can't. I mean, even in like the times when I go, when the times when I go when it's a short trip, you could, but it's winter and you need like more, bulky clothes. Too many beers in the hot tub. Finding accommodation is important if you're on a budget. Knowing friends with Airbnbs. Yeah, by the way, I think Daniel and Yuka, hint, hint, they have an Airbnb in Tokyo that I highly recommend that if you want to just check them out. Daniel and Yuka sent them a message, and they have an Airbnb in a local area of Tokyo that you like. Because of the heavier snow. Wow. Strange that I couldn't cheap airfare, but could get affordable accommodation. Now I can get affordable flights, but hard to find affordable accommodation. That's the way it works. It's a way of the world, right? Yeah, Aizu Wakamatsu. Check out that video, and in Aizu Wakamatsu video, there's a in Aizu Wakamatsu there's a few really interesting things. First of all, there's hardly any like tourists. Akabeko is from Aizu Wakamatsu. Your girls would like this. You can actually, this is where this comes from Aizu Wakamatsu, from that area, and you can get to paint it. Um, and maybe the girls will like it, although it would take probably an hour out of your itinerary to do that. Then, other than that, there's a really interesting like spiral building that was really unique and really interesting. And the castle is very cool, although it's like a rebuilt, one of these rebuilt castles. Inside, it's like a museum, so it's kind of nice to see from the outside for photos. It's absolutely stunning castle, really, really stunning castle. I think it's got black brick tiled roof. It's very nice. My wife and I have found great hotel deals all across Japan for our upcoming cherry blossom trip by avoiding the big cities. Clever, clever, clever. 15th trip in 25 years. Nice. Nice. Baby back on mobile. Dude. Nice one. Save money for Shibuya Halloween. Don't spend all your money in 44 days. I'm not Fat Mike. I think I'm gonna have to start a fund, a an October fund. At the moment, it's looking unlikely. We'll see. Nathan, can you tell us how is the change experience of someone landing in Narita International Airport, for example, and has to go to another airport and get their other flight? Will taxi be the best or public? Wow. First of all, the most important thing there is that you have a lot of time in between, because those airports are not really close together. I'm not very sure what the connections are like when it comes to Haneda, Osaka, because I've never actually had to do a connection between Haneda and Osaka. But I'm guessing that you'd have to probably make your own way somehow. I'm not very sure. I'm not even very sure if there's a direct bus between them. Although I suppose that there is. It's one I'm not very sure how to answer. Hopefully, somebody in the chat down there can answer for us. Thoughts on doing the World Expo in Osaka? My thoughts at the moment are I'm not sure. Like, I'm gonna be in Osaka for 3 days, and I'm sort of considering trying to sort out the expo. But I know that the expo tickets and the whole expo thing is it's a little bit not complicated, but it's a little bit like iffy and time consuming, and there's a lottery system, blah 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 blah, I believe. And at the moment, I just don't have the effort, the time, or the energy to even like think of that right now. So I've got the days where I'm going to be in Osaka. Potentially one of them could be the expo, and I'll decide. I guess it all depends on what your like what you think of, what are your interests ultimately, right? Do you know if there's digital speaker for Android phones made outside of Japan? Unfortunately, there are none that I know of. Do you have the Rev points accepted in Japan, like Uber Eats? Do you have Rev points accepted in Japan? Yeah, you can get Rev points when you spend with your Revolut card. But that's a whole Revolut question. Ooh, nice. Tonight will be a long night as I need to be ready at 5 a.m. to get to Ghibli Park tickets for me. Oh my God, I remember doing that. Oh boy, I feel you. Like, I've even got like anxiety from thinking back. I was so lucky. The what I would say there, PS Prog. What I would say there is you have to be flexible with your itinerary. So I spent, I think, 3 days in Nagoya, and I wanted to go to Ghibli Park on the second day. But I couldn't get tickets on the first. I couldn't get tickets on the second. I only got tickets on the third, so I had to go on the third. So I just had to rejiggle things around. I'm trying to plan a day trip for Mount Fuji, looking at Fujiyama Tower. What are your recommendations? Oof, I mean, I've been to the area a few times, but I've only ever been to Kawaguchiko. Um, really. And I've been to Mount Fuji itself. So I don't know how to answer that question. How about a video about your spreadsheets and how you track stuff when you try different video formats? Anyway, currently I think that's a kind of video that maybe potentially I could do like as a members video or as a patron video. Um More rough and ready sort of thing, maybe. Yeah, lots of tabs open at the same time. And what I was gonna say about Ghibli Park, which by the way is worth going to, is um make sure that you get the whatever the full experience version. Just charge it to clients. 30,000 yen for Uber from Narita Airport, worth it? Sounds a little bit expensive, huh? Kawaii. Oktoberfest fans. The problem, dying goal with these things, Oktoberfest and stuff like that, is that Malaga Airport has the shittiest German flights over the weekend that just don't make any sense for me to get there. Okay, shuttle between Haneda and Narita. There you go. Yeah, dying goal. I don't know how I feel about the World Expo. And like I've mentioned a few times, like by the time I go, everyone and their mothers would have, put stuff on social media about it. So I'll be way too late. So how hard is travel around Tohoku? Do you recommend a car? I saw your Tohoku itinerary. Hey, heck, God, thank you so much for watching my Tohoku itinerary. Much appreciated. And in terms of how hard, as hard as you want it to be, I think the answer is, and what I mean by that, how as hard as you want it to be, is I've spent quite a long time, a lot of my trips in the past, making sure that everything was public transport and no driving. Now I'm sort of changing my tune and I'm becoming a little bit more confident with driving. I've driven in Japan in the past in Okinawa. So I'm a little bit more open to the driving around Japan. However, everything is possible as long as you plan everything down to the final like detail. When you go to places like Tohoku, you can use local trains, Shinkansen, and buses, but just be aware of their time schedules. I'll give you an example. I once stayed in an onsen near Morioka. Step one, to get from Morioka to the onsen town, there was very a lot of frequent buses between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. And then after 10 a.m., the buses dropped to like one every hour and a half. So you need to sort of do your research so that you don't get caught out because you don't want to be waiting around for an hour and a half for a bus. The same, I went from that onsen town to this farm that I wanted to go to. The buses ran, there was only like 4 buses or 5 buses in the entire day. So I had to factor that in and make sure that I do my activities around that. So you can definitely do it with public transport, but it does require a lot of research and planning and making sure that your schedules are up to date. You know, when you get there, making sure and contacting, looking at the bus schedules on on site to make sure that what you had from online was up to date. For your information, for everyone, I've used Smart EX and booked early. Then, when I got to Japan and got my welcome speaker, I was able to add most tickets and tap through at the stations. Indeed, yeah. That's how Smart EX works. Um, yeah, I have 4 days in Nagoya and will try PC Lawson ticket and my mobile cloak. Yeah, airport limousine bus. If it works out for you, in your area, it's so fantastic. Funny story. I stayed in the Upper Kabakucho Tower Hotel, and I've stayed there quite a few times now. And every single time, I would get a taxi to Shinjuku Station to get my limousine bus to the airport. And the last time that I stayed there in December, I was walking out out of the Upper Hotel, and I looked to the right, and I think to myself, that's a freaking limousine bus. So I walked over there. There was a freaking limousine bus from the Upper Hotel going to the airport, and I'd spent so many trips getting a taxi and stressing out about the time to Shinjuku. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I have Daingo's favorite treat. Although I am confident that this deep fried would be quite spectacular. This deep fried would be quite spectacular. Itadakimasu. Took a banana. Mm. I'm not very sure how they would even know who you are or who they are. Good morning, Jamie. 5 days to go. Awesome. Oktoberfest. I haven't been to the Tokyo one. They're very, very, very similar. I would say like super similar. Triangle. Hey, legend. Hi, Nathan. I'm visiting Japan in late March. I'm planning to use luggage delivery service. Do I need to inform the receiving hotel, or can I send it directly from my previous hotel or a convenience store? Um, your hotel will contact the hotel, but if you're not sure, you can always contact the hotel and say, "Hey, I'm going to be sending some luggage to you. Is that okay?" But usually your hotel will do that on your behalf. They will never send a package or luggage to another hotel without checking with the other hotel first. They'll have to check that you're actually staying there, for example, right? Triangle, working hard, playing harder. No problem, heck. Yeah, I mean, watch some of my videos. I'm sure there's stuff that I from that region. Tokyo banana. I have an express pass and timed entry for Nintendo World. Should I still enter early? My timed entry is 11:50, but my designated rides are from 11:50 to 12:20. I like a band for my son. Okay, that's a good question, and I can answer it because I've literally just recently done um, Universal Studios Nintendo World. So a few things. We had the express passes when we went to Nintendo. By the way, check out my guide. I actually have a guide about this. But we had express passes for Nintendo World, but we went early because by going early and running to whatever area, Nintendo World, for example, you could, in theory, get some of the rides in Nintendo World done and some of the activities and buy and purchase your band, for example, and then exit, enjoy your day, and return for the timed entry and enter Nintendo World for a second time. So my recommendation is that, for example, the Mario Kart game ride is amazing. It's pretty spectacular. There's also the new Donkey Kong area that I haven't been to, but the Mario Kart ride is pretty cool. So if I were you, I would enter early. I would get the band. I would rush to that ride, at least get that ride done, and then re-enter to do your express passes and complete your challenges. The challenges are very difficult to complete if you don't enter the area twice, I would say. I hope that sort of makes sense. A little bit of sense anyway. Heck God, no problem. Thank you for so much for being here. Question: when using a SIM card in Japan, is tethering a bandwidth issue as compared to renting a hotspot device? I've never had any problems with tethering with my Sakura mobile, which I do have a Sakura mobile. I don't know, somewhere. I do have a Sakura mobile affiliate link for those of you who are interested. Sakura mobile. Dun dun dun. There we go. Oops. What? I didn't want to. I want to move the. I want to move the Sakura mobile here. There you go. I do have a Sakura mobile affiliate link you can use to support. If you want to tether, you just need to. You get instructions, and you just need to add a few like information into your settings, and then you can tether. It works like normal. Pretty much works like normal. Very normal sort of thing. Any more questions? Subscribe. Yes. Yes. Subscribe. And I have the little Ninja Monkey logo. I tried my best. Oh my god. If that's a KCT, I would get like a unlimited bundle. Unlimited bundles normally have like a data cap you can use per day, but you don't have to worry about the limit, and you probably won't be hitting that limit daily. Yep, it's using a Suica on your phone. It's exactly the same. It works exactly the same as any Suica, as a normal Suica. My Suica currently has approximately 1,785 yen. And guess what? I actually have, yeah, another suica, but it's on my watch. Do you have to leave and come back? Or can I stay inside and use the express pass for designated rides? Cheers. Um, you'd you can only use the express pass for the time slots that are allocated to you, and you don't have to leave and come back. But I think that you'd probably want to leave and return because there's a lot more to do in Universal Studios, right? Hey, Hugh, James. The only scam that I experienced was that karaoke scam. I haven't experienced anything else because I'm just super careful. I will never do a snowboarding video, Daniel. Unfortunately, ain't my thing. I just don't want to spend like lots of time out of usually in when I go in the winter, it's only for 1 week. I don't want to spend a day just in the snow. Frog Lady, thank you so much once again for your support. Arigato gozaimasu. Banana fans are making me fat. Yeah, Kabukicho has quite a few scams you got to be careful with for sure. Yeah, guys, visit the Discord, don't forget. The thing is, Gazumi, is that would actually probably happen. That would very much likely happen. Yeah, good planning and good trips to all. Will Farrow. Farrow. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, where is Nightbot? Where has Nightbot gone? That's a good question, actually. Suica on phone. I noticed when I put 1,000 yen on my card, it's charged me a fee on my bank. How can I avoid this? It depends on the bank arrangement with your bank. I use, for example, Revolut or Wise, and when I spend anything on yen, I don't get any charges. So it depends on your bank card, and the fees. When you're paying in yen, your bank might have a charge for spending in a foreign currency, but it might depend on your card, might depend on your bank. Art galleries that give you a hard sell about buying postcards or art prints. Well, that and bars with charge systems that you have to pay very close attention to. Yeah. I mean, these charge systems like table charges and stuff like that, they're quite common and quite normal across anybody, not just for Westerners, but also for Japanese people. But definitely make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into. Scams. Right, just to finish, I'm going to start finishing things off a little bit. But let's talk about Johnny Somali. My God, I've just been watching some videos and things are wild. That's what I'm going to say. Thank you for your help. Is there a good and cheap service you can recommend for night buses? I think in terms of cheap, I'm not very sure, but Willow Travel are the quite famous bus service that you can check out online. And I've used them not for night buses, but I've used them for other buses in the past. They're pretty good, straightforward, and easy to use. So yeah, well, guys, I think that I'm gonna call it time there. But hopefully on Wednesday I'll be able to do another stream on Happy Gaijin, everything. going well. I'm gonna leave it there. If there's any last minute questions, let me know, and if not, don't forget that you can also comment below later on after the stream has ended. Please check out my latest video, the little Japan Latin American city town, where I go and I try to show sort of like the essence of the city, the essence of the town, the people, what it's like, the food, the ambience, the feeling. And my conversation with myself. There's two videos that I've put out this weekend that you might enjoy checking out. On that note, I'm gonna say good night. On that note, I'm gonna say good night. Always fun, always great. See you soon. Stay positive and be a happy, fantastic gaijin, everyone. Bye.